Welcome to Boosting You, the ultimate wellness platform. And I'm Shirley McLean, joined again by the always insightful, my good friend, Dr. Sue Peacock. And today we're just wrapping up our festive series by talking about meaning, how to rediscover the deeper joy of Christmas beyond all of the glitter and the gifts.
Hi Shirley, hi everyone. Yeah, this is such a lovely topic, isn't it? It's so easy, isn't it, to get swept up in the shopping and the wrapping and the planning and that sort of perfect moment pressure that we forget why we celebrate. And I think meaning is what steadies us when the surface noise fades.
So, Sue, why do we so easily lose sight of the meaning at Christmas?
It's a good question, isn't it? I think it's because we live in a culture that equates love with buying, doesn't it? The adverts tell us that happiness comes from things, doesn't it? So we keep chasing that next purchase. But once the excitement passes, we're kind of left exhausted and sometimes in debt, really, aren't we?
Mm.
I think it's real joy doesn't come from the transaction, does it? It comes from that connection, that purpose, the presence.
Yeah, that's absolutely so powerful. Everything you've said, that sense of being rather than doing, because when we slow down, that joy tends to find us, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I think joy grows in stillness and not in a frenzy, doesn't it?
Yeah. So how can we start moving away from that perfection trap?
I think a good start is by asking ourselves what actually matters to me this year.
Mm.
Maybe it's togetherness, maybe it's peace, laughter, or even reflection. And kind of once you know that, you can kind of let go of the rest, can't you? If your house isn't spotless or the meal isn't flawless, so what? If people feel cared for and relaxed, then I think you've succeeded.
Yeah, and it's that is just all so freeing because we can replace perfect with being present, can't we?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I think, when it comes to gifts, sometimes it's about choosing meaning over magnitude, isn't it? So, for example, a handwritten letter or a photo memory or a homemade treat often carries more emotional weight than say something expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's, thinking back, when you were a kid and you had like, 20p pocket money and you'd buy your nan something, you know,
Yeah.
when you kind of get older and you can afford it, the gift is probably bigger and not kind of a handmade thing. But she would have appreciated the 20p gift just as much as a 20 quid gift kind of thing. So I think sometimes think about, what makes this person feel seen, and that question can kind of add heart in, but that can add heart back into giving, can't it?
Yeah, and I love that. Kirsty, my eldest daughter, she's so good at the gifts that she gives are so like heartfelt and what she makes and the effort that she puts in. She does all sorts of different things, and you're absolutely they're priceless, absolutely priceless. But I love that. Gifts that say I know you instead of I spent that on you. Um,
Yeah, that's really nicely put. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about new traditions? So sometimes we've talked about before, like clinging on to old ones, even when they cause us stress.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember traditions evolve, don't they? And they're meant to. We can start new rituals that fit who we are now.
Mm.
So maybe a morning gratitude walk, or perhaps lighting a candle for absent loved ones, or sharing a kindness jar where somebody, one of those jars where each person writes something that they appreciate about someone else. Rituals don't have to be really grand, do they? They just need to be sincere.
Oh, I love that, a kindness jar. I've actually got like a jar of just little things to do, but a kindness jar's nice where people can put things in. That's nice that. Um, and that would shift the whole atmosphere at the table, wouldn't it?
I've used it at the end of one of my groups before. So yeah, yeah. I think, meaning hides in stillness, doesn't it? So perhaps try carving out a few minutes of quiet each time, phone, no list, just breath and awareness. Just asking yourself, what do I need right now?
Yeah.
What can I be grateful for in this moment? And those simple questions really ground us in what is real and important to us.
Yeah. And again, it's just like pressing pause so that the heart can catch up with the season, isn't it?
Absolutely, that it's that pause where joy can kind of slip in, isn't it?
Yeah. You often say that kindness lifts both the giver and the receiver.
Yeah, I think it really, really does, doesn't it? Acts of kindness, whether it's a smile, a check-in call with somebody. You could be out walking the dog and you see someone in the street and you just say hello and stop and have a chat. It could be something small like that. It could be, I don't know, donating to a food bank. It doesn't matter what it is. These things trigger that oxytocin, that bonding hormone, and reminds us that we are part of something so much bigger. So I think if we're feeling low or lonely, then helping someone else out is really one of the quickest things that we can do to reconnect with that purpose.
Yeah. So giving isn't just generosity, it's therapy, isn't it? It's therapy for the soul.
Exactly that, and it doesn't cost anything but attention.
Mm. Sometimes Christmas does bring along sadness, though, where, when we do miss it, when we're missing loved ones, or we've got changes, or maybe even disappointment. So, how does meaning for them? What does, you know,
Yeah, it can be a difficult time, can't it? Absolutely, and I think sometimes it's about making space for the whole picture, isn't it? Meaning isn't about being constantly cheerful; it's about authenticity. We can hold joy and sadness together, can't we? So we can
yeah,
perhaps say their name, include a photo, rituals that help integrate grief into love. Um, the deeper I love, the deeper the ache, and both are really sacred.
yeah. And that's such a healing perspective. We honor love by allowing feeling.
Yeah, and I think as the year closes, we can carry meaning forward, can't we? So instead of resolutions that are pressure us, perhaps set intentions that nurture us. Perhaps ask ourselves things like, what do I want to feel more of next year? Peace, confidence, joy, and then choose, as we say, one small daily habit that can kind of move you to that place.
Yeah, and that's so gentle but so powerful what you've just said. Shifting from fixing yourself to supporting yourself. So could you share maybe a few takeaway actions, Sue?
I absolutely can, because I always have takeaway actions as well. And people who are watching this for a long time will tell you too now. Um, it's about, define what matters to you. Write down your top three values for the season. I think it's about simplifying your plans. So drop whatever doesn't align with your values. Give mindfully. So choose gifts of time, care, or creativity. Practice daily gratitude. Include quiet moments each morning and each evening. Perhaps reach out kindly to someone who might need connection. And the last one's really important. Let yourself rest without guilt.
Yeah. And that list alone just feels like a breath of fresh air, doesn't it?
It's great. I use quite a lot of that myself, actually. So,
Yeah.
okay, so shall we close with a sort of a brief mindful pause then?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll do this one for a change. So if you can just get yourself nice and comfortable, and we're going to take a nice deep breath in and out. Notice the sounds around you. Maybe that's the clock or a voice in the distance, maybe a car, radiators. And now just bring to mind just one thing that warmed your heart recently. And that could be a smile, a song, whatever it is for you, just bring that warm thing that warmed your heart and let that feeling expand. Just let it flood your body, every cell, every nerve, every fibre of your being. Just let it expand through your body. And just quietly, just say to yourself, I have enough. I am enough. This moment is enough. And that is just so simple, grounding, and hopefully you found that so full of peace as well. So now, Sue, if you could leave our listeners with one message as we head towards Christmas, what would it be?
First, I'd like to say thank you because that was really lovely.
Oh, thank you.
But I think the real gift is presence, isn't it? When we slow down, listen, and connect with yourselves, with others, you're kind of already giving the most precious thing you have, aren't you? Your attention.
Mm,
I think joy isn't something we chase, is it? It's something that we notice.
yeah, and that's the perfect note to end on. So thank you for that, Sue. And again, thank you to everyone who's joined us through this little festive series that we've done. And I hope these conversations have helped you feel supported, have helped you feel seen and inspired to care gently for yourself this season. So take a moment today to find your own spark of meaning and carry that light with you through to the new year. And we will look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone, and remember that you are the gift. And we look forward to seeing you in the new year. Take care. Bye.